Welcome to Drop the Clutch podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Drop the Clutch Season 2, Episode 10. This is our Cardiff preview episode. I'm joined by Frankie again this week. Hi, Frankie. It's been a while. You right?
Yes, I am okay. We have had the Speedway Nations. We have discussed the Speedway. Well, you've discussed the Speedway Nations. I haven't.
Yes, because someone was busy.
Yeah, not my fault, that one.
No.
But we return to the Grand Prix in 2 weeks from recording.
Yeah.
Well, yay, Smart's running away with it again.
But other than that, mate, we're just there to back the Brits.
Well,
met with Stoneys.
Can discuss that one. There's a lot of the biggest question mark over Cardiff is Woffinden going to be fit?
I'd say no, just because if he's rushing this, then it's a stupid idea, especially if he crashes on his arm.
Well, what was it? What was his injuries? Was it a broken elbow in like 3 places or something?
Yeah, it was 4.
Yeah, it was.
So,
it was. Yeah, it was a particularly nasty break in a particularly complex joint of the body.
Yeah, so if he falls on that again and he screws it up, then he's going to risk losing his arm, isn't he? So I wouldn't risk it personally, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, obviously he'll want to be fit. You know, whether he is or not is another matter. He'll want to ride if he feels like he can. Especially as this is like one of two trophies he's yet to win. The other one really being Speedway World Cup. Like, he's technically won Speedway of Nations in 2021, but I think he would disagree with that. I think he said at the time he felt like he didn't deserve the medal.
Yeah, I remember that because he didn't ride in the second day. It's like that's not his fault.
Yeah,
not his fault. Jason Doyle took him out, but c'est la vie and all that shit.
Yeah, well, he'll want to race if nothing else because he wants to win at Cardiff. Like it's the one thing it's the one individual thing he's yet to do. But besides that, and what his original stated aim was to beat Tony Ricardson out of the top ranked Grand Prix rider by number of wins. You know, whether he's fit or not, because it doesn't matter for this Grand Prix series, really. His season is over in the Grand Prix. There's no realistic prospect of making the top 6.
Well, and I don't think he's going to get a wild card either.
Well, that'll be an interesting discussion for the end of the season. I think with his injuries, he's more likely to get a wild card now than if if you'd asked me the same question 2 months ago, I probably would have said no. But with his injury, you know, leaning more towards yes, because really that's what the wild card is for. It's not, you know, it's between that and giving an underdog the opportunity to ride. Like what they're doing with Kubera this year. That's kind of what it's for. It's not. I don't like it when it just becomes someone like Andreas Johnson, where you're just reliant on a pick year after year after year and keep getting it.
Yeah, well, Wolfie doesn't want that either, does he?
He never did
in the past. I know.
But that's when I think that's where a lot of people get frustrated with the pick system, including myself. And when you see the picks and it's just the riders ranked 7th through 13th in the standings.
Yeah.
That's where people get really annoyed with it. But I think people will be more forgiving now if he did get a pick. Whether he will or not is up for the organisers.
Yeah, because I know the top 10 is quite tight right now, but say Bewley just misses out, they'd give it him, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Unless is he in the challenge?
Oh, it might be actually. But the Grand Prix Challenge isn't until after Torren this year.
Exactly, but
yeah, it's like it's in Pardubice this year. It's like the start of October. So,
they'd give it to Dan over Tai just because he's younger, and I'd say he's got more potential over Tai at this point in time, just because Dan's still fairly early on in his career.
Yeah,
I say that, and he's been riding like 7 years already.
Yeah, and like Bewley's never challenged for like top spot in a championship. He's sitting at 9th at the moment. He's never challenged like top spot in the championship. This season has been Lambert until Gorzov.
But even then, there's still like wiggle room in it, because the top 9, the top 9 are separated by
second Jack Holder 77, 9th is Dan Bewley 49.
So between there and say Robert Lambert in 5th on 72, and because he had one bad meeting, he's been Mr. Consistent so far all season, but he had one bad meeting.
Well, that's a discussion regarding this point system, which is probably best had at the end of the season.
It's shit, get rid of it, blah, blah, blah.
I'll do a more scientific teardown of it.
Okay. That was just my opinion of it.
It's a valid one, and it's probably right. Yeah, I'm just trying to see who's in the challenge this season. Is Bewley in it? Bewley? No, yes, he is. Both Lambert and Bewley are in the Grand Prix challenge.
Okay, so say Lambert qualifies of his own accord.
Well, all predictions at the moment is that Lambert would finish in the top 6. I don't think that's really in doubt at the moment. If he had another round or two where he only scored like 5 points, then it probably would be in doubt. But
he's still within a shout of 2nd or 3rd, because he's only 3 points behind Mikkelsen.
Yeah,
and he's only 5 points behind Holder. But I don't, unless Dan has a few stormers, I don't see him making the top 6. He'd get back either through the challenge or a pick.
But what we've got to remember is the Grand Prix challenge is it's a tough meeting. Like, you've got to be top 3 on the night. You basically cannot afford a 3rd place.
No. And even then, like you say, he's more likely going to get a wildcard pick over Tai Woffinden.
Yeah, definitely. On form,
in my opinion.
On form this season has been the better, but both Lambert and Bewley have been better, head and shoulders above Woffinden. And so I think maybe Woffinden would be right, even if he returned in the leagues. I know the FIM might not be too happy about this, but if he returned in the leagues but said he's sitting out the rest of the Grand Prix, that's probably the better option for him right now.
Yeah, I'd say so as well.
Yeah, obviously the question is how does he get back in? But if he is fit for Cardiff, he'll want to win it. Yeah. Whether he does or not, it's unclear, because he's never had good luck at Cardiff. He has possibly the most memorable time in my mind of a rider not making the semis on 9 points. He's been injured the last 4 seasons there.
Yeah.
With some pretty big crashes as well. So he's not. He's never had good luck there.
No.
So whether he wins or not, I'm not sure. I wouldn't put him down as favourite though. I mean, we can discuss potential winners for Cardiff.
I'd like to see a Brit win it.
You always would.
The last one was Dan, wasn't it, 2 years ago? But yeah, I'd like to see a Brit win it. Other than that, I don't really mind.
Well, if Lambert can follow in Bewley's footsteps, and get
wouldn't that be nice, especially after leading Team GB, practically carrying Team GB to the gold medal as well at the SON. Also, I'm going to chuck this in there. There's Marslick's fitness, because there was a rumour going around that he got injured at the Speedway of Nations.
I heard he cracked a rib.
I told you that, I think, didn't I?
Yeah, I think you did. I'd imagine he would have recovered from that, though. It means that the base part of my prediction for Smarslick, he gets injured, returns true, but it's not a season-ending injury. I don't really think, because it's now going on 3 weeks. It'll be a month or more since the SOM when Cardiff actually rolls around. I think he would have recovered by now.
Depends, because there can be tricky injuries.
Yeah. But someone like Smarslick have access to every medical specialist in Poland.
True.
So it'd be interesting to see if it does affect his fitness, his ability to ride. He struggled badly at Manchester. I don't know what was wrong. Manchester should have been a track he should have flown around. But he just wasn't there. Whether that was the injury or not, it could have been. It could have been. But
Manchester's a finicky track, though, isn't it?
It's a finicky track, but it's wide, it's fast, it's open. It's the closest thing Britain has to what would be a published standard track.
True.
I don't think, if I were to guess, I don't think the shape of Manchester is that different to Gorzów. And he knows that track inside out.
True. It's a strange one.
I don't know. Maybe he just didn't have the right setup. Maybe he was feeling the injury. It's hard. It's kind of hard to speculate on that one, really.
Yeah.
But if he does win at Cardiff, that would be his. That would seal the championship in everything but name at this point, because the difference now is. What is the difference now? The difference now is 27 points, so he's already a Grand Prix win clear. And we're only halfway through the season. I think this year is probably. I think it'd be the first in the Grand Prix era to see a championship declared before the penultimate round.
Which is slightly annoying, but what can you do?
I know we've had some seasons with the winners declared in the penultimate round because they're unassailable. I think Woffinden won one of his 2015 championship like that, but I don't think it's ever happened 2 rounds clear. Because in the old system, it was actually really difficult to get 25 points clear of your nearest rival.
Yeah, which is why we should go back to the old system. But again,
arguments for later.
But yeah, arguments for later in the season.
But yeah, I can see if Smarslick is fully fit, which if I were to guess, I think he is. He could run away with it, but it's not the easiest. Cardiff's not the easiest track, and we know how the weather can affect it, even though it's an indoor venue.
Also, the fact that he's going to be hating Britain even more from
finishing 5th in the Speedway of Nations.
Yeah, and absolutely being wiped out by a Ukrainian rider whose name I can't remember off the top of my head.
Is it Melanchuk? I can't remember.
Quite possibly.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's about it for Cardiff. Like you can name predictions, but like we're so far away from the last Grand Prix. Every rider is going to be different now. This is like in the old days where you had a month clear break for the World Cup between Grand Prix rounds. Except this one is in the month; it's 7 weeks.
Yeah, that was a bit strange.
The bulk of it is because of the Olympics. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
I think it's around the time of the Cardiff Grand Prix, actually. The main Olympics, anyway. I think the Paralympics goes on until the start of September. But I think the Olympics ends around the time Cardiff is.
Okay, fair enough. I haven't really been paying attention to the Olympics. I've only been checking the medal board periodically, but other than that,
isn't that what most people do with the Olympics? This is what I don't get, and this is a complete tangent. This is what I don't get. People talk about the Olympics or that, and no one cares about the individual sports. It's just the medal table everyone cares about.
Yeah,
It's just always comes across as weird to me.
Yeah. I watched the BMXing, the racing.
Oh, why?
Just because a friend of mine used to do that professionally.
How many people fell over because the starting gate didn't close properly? You ever seen that clip? Like,
yeah.
I don't think it was BMX. It might have been motocross riding, but the gate just didn't lower properly. Every rider just went head over it.
Yeah. Ouch.
Except this one guy who just went because he completely missed the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Grand Prix, we're going to have to. We need to watch Cardiff to get a feel for where the riders are at now.
Yeah.
Because trying to judge them on their past form is a fool's errand, because that was now a month ago.
True.
And so much has changed in that time. Like, and Cardiff itself is always very unpredictable in like the racing surface. Like we remember 2 years ago when the heat played a massive effect.
Yeah. It's not to be as hot this time around, thankfully.
No, and I think Discovery are moving in favour of having the roof open if they can get away with it.
Yeah,
because it does help. It does help the base. Like I remember BSI never had the roof open.
No.
Which will make it interesting to see how it performs. It'll make it makes it more like a slightly less open Horsens, if anyone remembers that track.
Not particularly.
It's basically just another temporary surface, except it was outdoors.
Fair do.
I mean, there's been a weird shift in Discovery that they don't like temporary stadia, particularly.
That would quell well with a rumour I heard at the song. But again, I'm not going to speculate because I don't know how true stuff is.
Yeah. Well, instead of real speculation with this bit, you can see it. They're not going to venues with a temporary surface. You think like what BSI were doing 10 years ago, we would have Stockholm, Horsens, Australia, Cardiff, Warsaw, all the usual ones. Half the calendar would be temporary venues. Now there's only two: it's Warsaw and Cardiff. Which I think it's fair enough, because you kind of do want to be at an established speedway track if you can, but at the same time, they're not always in the best location.
No. Fair enough.
Like I can only dream of seeing. I've mentioned Twickenham in the past, but that's not an option. But like a temporary stadium in Wembley, for instance.
I would not go. I hate London. I would not go. I hate London.
Oh, but could you imagine it though? It'd be like the first speedway meeting in Greater London since fucking Wimbledon closed.
Yeah.
Side note: Lakeside doesn't count.
Oh.
Lakeside is not in London.
Of course it's not, but
then again, nor was Central Park Kent, so
no, it's down south. It's down south.
But yeah, like imagine a Grand Prix in Greater London. It would be interesting. Whether it would work economically, I don't know, because Cardiff is very well established now.
True.
I mean, I know there's been rumours for years now about them putting a Grand Prix in the National Speedway Stadium.
That is what I heard.
I don't know. I think the rumor mill was turning for next year, but
Yeah,
it's always ever rumors. They never materialize.
No.
No. Yeah, I think if I were to pick a winner for Cardiff, you can't massively look past Marshall if he's fit. Crucially,
Yeah.
If he isn't fit, then it could be very open.
True.
But this is probably save the fact that Smarzlik has run away with it because he's got clear consistency over the others. It is a much more open Grand Prix series than we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
Like second onwards is actually fairly tight.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, like I said, you cannot really speculate what's happening in the Grand Prix. It's been too long now. So shall we shift gears and move to leagues?
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I need to catch myself up on the British leagues actually because Eurosport coverage has basically not really existed this year. I haven't picked up that many streams on BSN, just through time constraints but no, time and budget constraints more than anything else. But like there hasn't been a lot on BSN on Eurosport, and I'm kind of in that position again I was last year. I don't really know where any team stands against each other.
Well,
I know Birmingham and Kingsland have fucked it.
putting it nicely.
Before you say anything else, I know they've fucked it, but that's
putting it nicely.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of fucked it looks like the BSPA may have fucked the Leicester CMAs as well somehow. What's going on there? But yeah, so I'm not massively sure what's happening in the Premiership at the moment. Like, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be Eurosport show like one meeting every 2 weeks until the playoffs, and then show 2 rounds of the playoffs because all the other ones get rained off. They can't be bothered to air the rest of them.
Yep, about right. Also, did you see Heat 15 from Birmingham versus Oxford?
No.
Oxford versus Birmingham. Basically, well, yeah.
What happened?
Tom went for a gap next to Eric Riss, and Tom was past Riss. And then Riss put the bike down, and then Tom got excluded. Basically, like what happened with Hellstrom Bangs in the Son 2 event.
Right. That's an interesting comparison because I agreed with the referee on that one. But
yeah, but the referee was wrong on Tom. Eric Riss knew exactly what he was doing.
Was that on BSN, was it?
Yeah. Eric Riss knew exactly what he was doing.
Well, I always take a dim view of riders laying the bike down in that way. I'm always very critical of riders who do, like professional foul. It's a big factor in my hatred of all 4 when I feel like it's been used as a cop out. Because you see a rider comes out last, spins the bike around all 4 back. No, rider should be thrown out. So I'd have to have a look at it. But if you're saying it's very similar to the Hellstrom Bangs one from the Speedway of Nations, then it could go, and it's one of those 50-50 ones. The fact that BSN were there suggests the referee had access to replays. Whether he viewed them or not is another matter entirely.
He did. The ref boxed it. Go look. Tell you. Go look at the replay. But
yeah, I shall watch that, but not now.
Obviously, but yeah. I just get a text like saying blah 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 blah. This happened. The referee was wrong. Yeah, the referee was fucking wrong.
You could chuck it in post or something. But anyway, Team sections. I don't know. You look at Kings Lynn and Birmingham. What can they do for teams now? What can they do for team selections? Because the teams they have just aren't gelling.
I think they've written it. I think Birmingham have written the rest of the season off.
Yeah.
To be quite frank, I think they're focusing on next season because at the moment they're just putting plans in place for next season. So I think at the moment that's what they're focusing on.
Fair enough.
Because apparently there's some background shit going on. So that's got to be figured out. But
that rumor mill turning again, is it?
Yeah, apparently they're on track to be if everything goes to plan then they should be back next season. But from what I've heard so far, everything's on track. So I'm assuming that they're just putting all their effort into next season now.
I mean, it makes sense that they are stone bottom of the table. 5 points down from a team who had got 2 points deducted because they illegitimately cancelled a meeting.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
that's how ridiculous that is.
But that's fair enough. That's fair enough. And certainly they start team building for next season already as well. Nothing official, but just sort of quiet text messages every now and again, that kind of thing.
If that would be the case, I'd keep Tom, Freddie, and possibly Leon, and then the rest can go away. Because I think Leon would still be eligible for another Rising Star spot because he's. I say this in the nicest way possible, but I mentioned it on Monday, but the Birmingham track at the moment is just atrocious.
Dry blue groove, that kind of atrocious, or rutty motocross track?
Dry, can't keep shale down on it. Blue groove type nonsense.
That's an issue with the base, though, isn't it? Normally.
Well, yeah, because
don't Birmingham relay. Go on.
As I said on Monday, but in the group, that they laid. I think from what info I got, they relayed the track in January, like end of December, early January, and that's far too late.
Well, I was going to say that. Didn't they relay the track every year anyway?
Yeah, but if they're doing it then, that's far too late because the new shale hasn't got time to bed down. If that makes sense. The base has not had chance to take on the winter weather to help the shale bind and for it to stay down. You need to be doing that in like end of October, early November for it to be good for the following season so it can take on all the winter weather and actually stand up to the abuse it takes during the speedway season. Yeah. And you can see that just by watching a meeting at Birmingham because even after 4 races, there's a blue groove around the inside and it looks like a skating ring.
Yeah. I remember at Eurosport were there. I wasn't impressed with the Birmingham track at all.
And yet this gullible twat sat here still spends £26 a time.
He's just supporting your club.
Well.
But yeah, like when I seem to remember the BSP saying something about non-conformant, non-standard tracks or something like that. Said they were going to do something about it. I don't know if anything has been done about it. But
ha 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 ha! Very funny.
I'm going to say no.
You tell funny jokes, sir.
To be fair, Paul lays down a blue groove every time there's sun. So, and that's down the south fucking coast, like.
But yeah.
But yeah, I can see. I can certainly see why Birmingham are putting now a lot into next season because it's worth it for them. Now, if they can get their seasons wrapped up for maybe late September, they can start now. They'll be able to start early with relaying the track.
Yeah. Well, they got one meeting planned for September the 9th. From what I know, it's a challenge meeting. But I doubt I'll be going to that. I'm being completely honest, because it's the same.
What kind of challenge meeting is it? Is it?
It's the Alan Graham Memorial Trophy.
Oh, okay.
It's the same day as the start of the Premiership playoffs, so it won't be well attended because it's organised for the 9th of September. It will not be well attended because people will be watching the playoffs.
Assuming they don't get rained off. But yeah, although actually more likely playoffs will get pushed back a week. So
why? Did nobody finishing their fixtures?
Probably. That's what's happened the last few seasons, isn't it?
Birmingham have only got 3 home fixtures left.
Yeah.
Oh, they are at home on the 26th. Oh no, I've got something else planned. Never mind.
It's a bank holiday.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing something else.
Fair enough. So I say there's always a fixture on a bank holiday.
Mm.
I remember a double header at Swindon going back about 7 years now. Cracking meeting that was.
You remember which month it is, right?
August.
You do realise the hockey season starts at the end of the month, right?
Well, I didn't, but now you've said that, I do.
Yeah.
I watched ice hockey once. It was during the Winter Olympics 2 years ago.
Fair enough.
It was an excuse to watch it because I think ice hockey in the UK is still on Premier Sports via Play, is it?
No.
It's all streaming now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I knew Premier Sports had a TV deal with ice hockey in the UK.
Basically, what happened is somebody at Viaplay or somebody involved at Viaplay ended up buying the Glasgow Clan, so it was a conflict of interest. Yeah. Some people involved at Viaplay ended up, or at least were a part of the new ownership of the Glasgow Clan, so it was a conflict of interest.
Morons.
So the TV deal ended, which basically makes the league worse off. But
yeah.
So yeah, it's all down to streaming now. The individual clubs, it's like £15 a match, and you're like, excuse me, surely like. All right, I'm just going to shut up because that's a completely different tangent to a completely different sport. But yeah, I think pretty much covered everything I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Just need to start adding a section at the end of these podcasts. Ruth's rants.
They should just alternate rant turns, like. Because I go off on a rant as well, but.
Drop the clutch rants. Who's ranting this week? Is it Ruth or Frankie?
We should have that as like a separate channel. It's just one of us, piece to camera. Like
maybe. But yeah, we'll wrap that up.
Yeah, we can end it there. I think that's pretty much everything that we can talk about at this stage, really.
Yeah. Cheers for listening, everybody. We'll get this out as soon as possible. Catch you on the next one.
Goodbye.
You have been listening to episode 10 of Drop the Clutch Season 2, presented by Ruth Hannah and Frankie Sparks, recorded on the 3rd of August 2024 and edited by Ruth Hannah. This was a Drop the Clutch production.